Hey Virgo, I need to talk to you about something really profound that came through in this reading. I was sitting with your cards tonight, and honestly, the message that came through was so clear and so important that I knew I had to share this with you right away. This is about a major shift happening in your family dynamics, and I know that might sound intense, but please stay with me because there is so much purpose and divine timing behind what is unfolding for you right now. Before we get into the cards, I just want you to know that this reading is coming from a place of genuine care. I understand that family is complicated, and when we talk about separation or distance from family, it can bring up a lot of emotions. But what I am seeing here is not about punishment or abandonment. This is about your evolution, your growth, and the universe literally making space for you to become who you are truly meant to be. So take a deep breath with me, and let us explore what the cards are revealing about this significant transition in your life. All right, so the first card I pulled for you is the Page of Swords, and this is such a telling card to start with. The Page of Swords is all about new awareness, truth-seeking, and really starting to see things as they actually are, rather than how we have been conditioned to see them. When this card shows up in the context of family dynamics, it is telling me that you have been going through a period of real awakening. You have been noticing things, Virgo. You have been paying attention to patterns, to the way communication works in your family, to the roles that everyone plays, and more importantly, to the role that you have been expected to play. What I am picking up with this Page of Swords energy is that you have been asking yourself some really important questions lately. Questions like, why do I always have to be the responsible one? Why does my growth seem to threaten certain people? Why do I feel guilty for wanting something different than what my family wants for me? The Page of Swords represents that part of you that is starting to use your intellect and your observation skills to really examine the dynamics that have been in place for years, maybe even your entire life. And here is the thing about the Page of Swords. This card does not show up unless you are ready to handle the truth. This card appears when you have reached a level of maturity where you can look at difficult realities without completely falling apart. I am sensing that you have been the peacekeeper, the fixer, the one who always tries to understand everyone else's perspective. As a Virgo, you are naturally analytical and service-oriented, so you have probably spent a lot of energy trying to help your family members, trying to solve their problems, trying to make everything work smoothly. But the Page of Swords is showing me that you are starting to realize something crucial. You are starting to see that your role in the family has been more about maintaining a system than about your own authentic growth. You are starting to notice that every time you try to grow or change or pursue your own path, there is resistance, there is guilt, there is pressure to stay the same, to keep playing the role that makes everyone else comfortable. This card is also showing me that you have been doing a lot of mental processing. You have been thinking deeply about your childhood, about the messages you received, about the expectations that were placed on you, and you are starting to connect the dots between those early experiences and the patterns that are still playing out in your adult life. The Page of Swords represents this growing awareness, this intellectual understanding that something needs to change. You are not just feeling it emotionally anymore, you are understanding it clearly. You are seeing the truth of the situation, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. What makes this even more significant is that the Page of Swords is a messenger. This card is telling me that you have been receiving messages, insights, and realizations that are preparing you for what comes next. Maybe you have been having conversations with friends who come from healthier family dynamics, and you are realizing that the way your family operates is not normal. Maybe you have been reading books or consuming content about family systems and trauma, and things are clicking into place. Maybe you have been in therapy and your therapist has been gently pointing out patterns that you are finally ready to acknowledge. Whatever the source, the information is coming through, and you are finally in a place where you can receive it without completely defending your family or making excuses for them. The second card that came through is the Ten of Swords, and I know this card can look scary when you first see it, but please hear me out because this card is actually bringing you a message of completion and necessary ending. The Ten of Swords represents the absolute end of a cycle. This is not a gradual fading away, this is a definitive ending. And in the context of your family situation, this card is telling me that you are reaching the end of your ability to continue in the old patterns. You are reaching the point where you simply cannot keep functioning in the role that has been assigned to you. Here is what I am picking up with the Ten of Swords. There has been a betrayal of some kind, or multiple betrayals. Now, betrayal in family does not always look like one big dramatic event. Sometimes it is the accumulation of 1,000 small moments where your needs were not considered, where your feelings were dismissed, where your boundaries were violated, where your truth was denied. The Ten of Swords is showing me that you have been carrying these wounds and they have been accumulating. Every time you were told you were too sensitive, every time your achievements were minimized, every time you were made to feel guilty for having your own life, every time you were expected to sacrifice your well-being for someone else's comfort, another sword went into your back. But here is the powerful part about the Ten of Swords. This card represents the moment when you finally stop fighting the reality of the situation. This is the moment when you stop trying to change people who do not want to change. This is the moment when you stop hoping that this time will be different, that they will finally understand, that they will finally see you for who you really are. The Ten of Swords is about acceptance, but not the kind of acceptance where you just resign yourself to suffering. This is the acceptance that allows you to finally let go. I am also seeing with this card that there has been a death of illusions. You have been holding on to certain beliefs about your family, certain hopes about how things could be, certain narratives about who people are and what they are capable of. And those illusions are dying. It is painful, Virgo. I am not going to pretend it is not. When we have to let go of the family we wished we had and accept the family we actually have, it is a grief process. The Ten of Swords acknowledges that grief. It acknowledges the pain of recognizing that the people who were supposed to protect you may have been the ones hurting you. It acknowledges the pain of realizing that love in your family may have been conditional, based on you playing a certain role or meeting certain expectations. But here is why this card is actually good news. The Ten of Swords is the final card of its suit. After this, there is nowhere to go but up. After this comes the Ace, which is a completely new beginning. This card is telling me that you are at the absolute bottom of this particular cycle, which means you are also at the turning point. Once you fully accept the reality of your situation, once you stop fighting against what is, you free up all that energy for your own healing and growth. The Ten of Swords is about hitting rock bottom in a way that becomes your foundation for rising. Now let us talk about the third card, the World. And this is where things get really interesting because the World represents completion, achievement, and reaching a significant milestone in your journey. This is the final card of the major arcana, which means it represents the end of a massive cycle and the wisdom that comes from having traveled the entire journey. In your situation, the World is telling me that this separation from your family or this shift in your family dynamics is actually part of you completing a major life lesson. Think about it this way, Virgo. The World appears when you have learned what you needed to learn from a particular experience or relationship. It appears when you have grown beyond a certain container and you are ready to step into a much larger reality. Your family dynamics, as painful or limiting as they may have been, were part of your curriculum in this lifetime. They taught you things, even if those lessons were learned through difficulty. Maybe you learned about boundaries by having yours violated. Maybe you learned about your own strength by having to survive in an environment that did not nurture you. Maybe you learned about authenticity by being in a system that required you to be false. The World is telling me that you are graduating from this particular school of life. You have extracted the wisdom from these experiences. You have done the work of understanding yourself, understanding your patterns, understanding how your upbringing shaped you. And now you are ready to operate from a place of integration and wholeness that is not dependent on your family validating you or understanding you or even being in your life in the same way they have been. What I love about the world in this position is that it is showing me you are not leaving from a place of woundedness or reactivity. You are not running away. You are not making impulsive decisions out of anger or hurt. Instead, you are making a conscious, empowered choice to honor your own journey and your own evolution. The world represents having the wisdom and maturity to know when a chapter is complete. It represents being able to look at your family situation with compassion and understanding while also recognizing that you need to move forward. This card is also showing me that you are developing a more cosmic perspective on your life. You are starting to understand that your family of origin was the family your soul needed in order to learn certain lessons, but they are not necessarily the people who will accompany you into your next chapter. The world is about understanding the bigger picture, the soul contracts, the reason why you were born into this particular family. And once you understand that on a deep level, once you can see the divine purpose in even the painful experiences, you are free. You are free to honor what was while also releasing what no longer serves you. I am also picking up with the world that success and achievement are part of your path forward. This card often represents reaching goals, manifesting dreams, and really stepping into your power. What I am hearing is that your family dynamics have been holding you back from your full potential. Whether that is through direct criticism and lack of support, or through more subtle mechanisms like guilt and obligation, the effect has been the same. You have been operating at a fraction of your true capacity because you have been trying to fit yourself into a box that is way too small for who you are becoming. The world is telling me that as you create healthy distance or separation from these limiting dynamics, you are going to experience a massive expansion in what you are able to achieve and create in your life. The fourth card is the Six of Wands, and this is so validating because the Six of Wands is about victory, recognition, and having the courage to stand in your truth even when it goes against the crowd. This card is telling me that what you are doing, this shift you are making in relation to your family, is actually an act of tremendous courage, and it is going to lead to you being recognized for who you truly are. The Six of Wands shows someone riding high, being celebrated, being acknowledged for their achievements. This is about you stepping into your authentic power and receiving the recognition you deserve, even if that recognition does not come from your family. Here's what I am picking up with the Six of Wands. You have been so focused on trying to get validation and approval from your family that you have not fully recognized all the ways you are already successful and amazing. You have been looking for them to finally see you, to finally be proud of you, to finally acknowledge your worth. But the Six of Wands is telling me that the recognition and celebration you have been seeking is actually going to come from outside your family system. It is going to come from your chosen family, from your friends, from your community, from people who actually see you and appreciate you for who you really are. This card is also about winning a battle, and in your case, the battle is internal. It is the battle against the guilt, the battle against the conditioning, the battle against the part of you that believes you are being selfish or wrong for prioritizing your own well-being. The Six of Wands is telling me that you are winning this battle. You are finding the courage to stand up for yourself, to set boundaries, to make choices that serve your highest good, even when those choices disappoint or upset family members. And every time you do this, every time you choose yourself, you are building your confidence and your strength. I am also sensing that the Six of Wands is showing a future where you are going to be in a position to help other people who have been through similar family struggles. Your victory is not just personal, it is going to inspire others. When people see you thriving after making the difficult choice to distance yourself from toxic family dynamics, it gives them permission to do the same. When people see you living authentically and successfully outside the constraints of your family's expectations, it shows them what is possible. The Six of Wands often indicates becoming a leader or a role model, and I am seeing that your journey through this family situation is going to position you to support and guide others through similar transitions. This card is also reminding you that you do not need your family's approval to be successful or worthy or valuable. You are already all of those things. The Six of Wands is about recognizing your own worth, independent of external validation. It is about knowing that you are on the right path because it feels right to you, because it aligns with your values, because it honors who you are, not because anyone else is cheering you on. And honestly, when you reach this place of internal validation, that is when external recognition naturally starts flowing to you as well, just not necessarily from the sources you originally expected. The fifth card is the Three of Wands, and this is giving me chills because the Three of Wands is all about expansion, forward vision, and stepping into new territory. This card shows someone standing on a cliff, looking out at a vast horizon, and that is exactly where you are, Virgo. You are at the edge of something completely new. You are looking out at possibilities that you could not even see before when you were stuck in the old family patterns. The Three of Wands is telling me that distance from your family is actually opening up your world in ways you cannot fully imagine yet. What I am picking up with this card is that your family situation has been keeping you geographically, emotionally, or energetically contained. Maybe you have been living near your family because you felt obligated to, and now you are considering moving to a place that actually excites you. Maybe you have been limiting your career choices or relationship choices based on what your family would approve of, and now you are starting to explore what you actually want. Maybe you have been keeping yourself small energetically because taking up space or being visible felt threatening in your family system. And now you are starting to expand into your full presence. The Three of Wands is one of the most optimistic cards in the deck. It is about having a vision for the future and taking the steps to make that vision real. This card is telling me that as you create healthy separation from limiting family dynamics, you are going to start dreaming bigger. You are going to start imagining possibilities for your life that you did not allow yourself to consider before. And more than that, you are going to start taking action on those possibilities. The Three of Wands is not just about dreaming, it is about enterprise and initiative. It is about putting plans into motion. I am also seeing with this card that collaboration and partnership are part of your future. The Three of Wands often represents beneficial partnerships and connections with people who share your vision. As you step away from family members who do not support your growth, you are going to find your tribe. You are going to connect with people who get you, who celebrate you, who want to see you succeed. You are going to build a chosen family of people who actually show up for you in the ways your family of origin could not or would not. And these connections are going to support you in achieving things you could never have achieved while staying stuck in the old dynamics. This card is also showing me that you are developing a long-term vision for your life. You are not just reacting to the current family situation. You are proactively creating the life you want to live. The Three of Wands is about being strategic and forward-thinking. It is about understanding that the choices you make today are setting up your future, and you are finally making choices that serve your highest vision rather than choices that keep the peace or maintain the status quo in your family. The sixth card that came through is the Eight of Cups. And honestly, Virgo, this card is so perfect for what you are going through because the Eight of Cups is the card of walking away from something that no longer fulfills you. This card shows someone literally turning their back and walking away, leaving cups behind, and heading toward the mountains in search of something more meaningful. This is exactly what you are doing with your family situation. You are making the brave choice to walk away from dynamics that are not serving your highest good, even though walking away is one of the hardest things you can do. What I am getting with the Eight of Cups is that this decision to separate from your family, whether physically or emotionally, is not being made lightly. You have tried. You have really tried to make it work. You have tried to communicate, to set boundaries, to hope for change. You have invested so much of yourself into trying to create healthy relationships with your family members. But the Eight of Cups appears when you finally realize that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and your cup has been empty for a long time. This card is about recognizing that staying in the situation is actually costing you more than leaving would. The Eight of Cups is deeply spiritual. It is about listening to your soul's calling, even when that calling takes you away from what is familiar and comfortable. Your soul is telling you that you need to move on, that you need to seek deeper meaning and fulfillment, that you need to honor your own journey, even if that journey takes you away from your family. And I know this might bring up feelings of guilt or sadness, but the Eight of Cups reminds us that sometimes the most loving thing we can do for ourselves is to walk away from situations that are draining our life force. I am also picking up with this card that there is a mourning process involved in this transition. You are not just losing the family you have, you are also mourning the family you never had. You are grieving the parents who could not show up for you in the way you needed, the siblings who could not see you for who you really are, the family gatherings that always left you feeling emptier than when you arrived. The Eight of Cups acknowledges this grief. It tells you that it is okay to be sad about what you are leaving behind, even if leaving behind is the right choice. You can honor what was while still choosing to move forward. But here's the beautiful part about the Eight of Cups. This card promises that what you are moving toward is so much better than what you are leaving behind. Those mountains in the distance represent higher consciousness, spiritual growth, and a life that actually aligns with your authentic self. The Eight of Cups is telling me that you are being called towards something greater, and you have to be willing to release what no longer serves you in order to reach it. The universe is literally making space in your life by removing or shifting your family dynamics, and it is doing this to make room for seventh card is the Two of Cups. And this is such a hopeful card because the Two of Cups represents genuine connection, mutual respect, and relationships based on equality and authentic love. After all the challenging family dynamics we have been discussing, the Two of Cups is showing me that you are absolutely going to experience real, healthy, reciprocal relationships. This card is promising you that the love and connection you have been seeking is available to you. It just might not come from your family of origin. What I am picking up with the Two of Cups is that as you create distance from unhealthy family patterns, you are going to attract people into your life who know how to love you properly. You are going to form bonds with people who see you, value you, respect your boundaries, and celebrate your growth. The Two of Cups is often associated with romantic partnerships, and I would not be surprised if creating healthy distance from your family actually opens you up to finding or deepening a romantic relationship. Sometimes our family dynamics keep us stuck in patterns that prevent us from experiencing true intimacy. And as you heal those patterns, you become available for the kind of love you deserve. But the Two of Cups is not just about romance. It is about any relationship where there is genuine mutual care and respect. This could be deep friendships, chosen family relationships, mentorship connections, or partnerships of any kind. The key energy of the Two of Cups is reciprocity. It is about give and take, not just one person giving and another person taking. It is about both people showing up, both people being vulnerable, both people contributing to the relationship. And I am hearing that this might be unfamiliar to you based on your family experiences. You might have been in relationships where you were always the giver, always the one making accommodations, always the one trying harder. The Two of Cups is showing you what it feels like when someone actually meets you halfway. I am also sensing that the Two of Cups is about you forming a new relationship with yourself. As you separate from family members who may have projected their own issues onto you or tried to define you based on their needs, you get to discover who you actually are. You get to form a loving, respectful relationship with your authentic self. The Two of Cups is about union and integration. And on a personal level, this represents you integrating all parts of yourself, accepting yourself fully, and really falling in love with who you are outside of any roles or expectations. This card is also telling me that healing is going to come through connection. Not connection with your family necessarily, but connection with people who can actually see you and hold space for you. When we have been in toxic family systems, we often develop a belief that something is wrong with us, that we are too much or not enough, that we are fundamentally unlovable. The Two of Cups is showing me that as you experience genuine, healthy connections with people who appreciate you for exactly who you are, those old beliefs are going to dissolve. You are going to realize that you were never the problem. You were just in the wrong environment with people who could not recognize your value. The 8th card is the Page of Pentacles, and this is exciting because the Page of Pentacles represents new beginnings in the material world, new learning, and the start of building something tangible and lasting. This card is telling me that the separation from your family is going to free up resources, not just emotional resources, but practical ones as well. You are going to have more time, more energy, and more focus to invest in building the life you actually want to live. What I am picking up with the Page of Pentacles is that you are entering a phase of your life where you get to be a student again, but this time you get to study what actually interests you. Maybe your family had expectations about what you should do for a career or how you should spend your time, and you have been following that path even though it does not light you up. The Page of Pentacles is giving you permission to start fresh, to learn new skills, to explore new interests, to build toward goals that are actually yours and not just what you think you should want. This card is also about being practical and methodical, which is very Virgo energy. You are not going to just impulsively burn bridges and hope for the best. You are going to be strategic about how you create distance from unhealthy family dynamics. You are going to be thoughtful about setting boundaries. You are going to be intentional about building your new life. The Page of Pentacles is encouraging you to take practical steps, one at a time, toward the future you envision. Maybe that means saving money so you can move. Maybe that means starting therapy to process your family stuff. Maybe that means taking a course that leads toward a career change. Whatever it is, the Page of Pentacles is about showing up consistently and building something solid. I am also seeing with this card that you are going to be focusing on your own stability and security. The Page of Pentacles is often about finances, career, health, and all the practical aspects of life. What I am hearing is that your family situation may have been destabilizing in some way. Maybe there was financial enmeshment or dependency. Maybe there was chaos that drained your resources. Maybe you were expected to support family members at your own expense. The Page of Pentacles is telling me that you are going to be focusing on creating your own foundation, your own security, your own stable base that is not dependent on or entangled with your family. This card also represents a new level of groundedness and connection to the physical world. As you separate from the drama and dysfunction of unhealthy family dynamics, you are going to find yourself feeling more present, more embodied, more connected to your actual life, as opposed to being stuck in your head worrying about family stuff. The Page of Pentacles is about being here now, being in your body, being engaged with the tangible reality of building a good life for yourself. And that is so healing after being in family dynamics that may have been chaotic or emotionally overwhelming. The 9th card that came through is the 8 of Wands. And this card is all about rapid movement, swift changes, and things finally starting to happen after a period of stagnation. The 8 of Wands shows these wands flying through the air, and that is exactly what your life is going to feel like as you create separation from limiting family dynamics. Things are going to start moving quickly. Opportunities are going to come in. Changes are going to happen faster than you expect. The universe has been waiting for you to make this choice, and now that you are making it, everything is going to accelerate. What I am picking up with the 8 of Wands is that you have been stuck for a while. Your family situation has been keeping you in a holding pattern where you could not fully move forward with your own life. Maybe every time you tried to make a change, there was a family crisis that pulled you back in. Maybe guilt or obligation kept you tethered to a place or situation that did not serve you. The 8 of Wands is telling me that as you break free from those constraints, you are going to experience a rush of forward momentum. Things you have been trying to make happen for years are suddenly going to click into place. This card is also about communication and messages coming in quickly. I would not be surprised if as you step into your power and create healthy distance from your family, you start receiving offers, opportunities, invitations, and connections that have been waiting for you to be ready. The 8 of Wands often indicates travel as well, whether that is physical travel to new places or metaphorical travel in terms of expanding your horizons and experiencing new things. Your world is about to get so much bigger, Virgo. I am also sensing with the Eight of Wands that there is going to be a release of pent-up energy. You have been holding yourself back, containing yourself, playing small, and all of that energy has been building up. The Eight of Wands is like a dam breaking. All that potential energy that has been stored is going to be released and channeled into positive, productive, exciting directions. You are going to feel more alive, more energized, more motivated than you have in years. This card is also reassuring you that you are on the right path and things are going to move in the right direction quickly. Sometimes when we make big changes like creating distance from family, we worry that we have made a mistake or that things are going to fall apart. The Eight of Wands is telling you that the opposite is true. As soon as you remove the obstacles and the dead weight, you are going to fly. Your life is going to take off in the best possible way. The 10th and final card is the Emperor. And this is such a powerful card to end on because the Emperor is all about structure, authority, and being the ruler of your own life. The Emperor sits on his throne, secure in his power, and that is the energy you are stepping into. This card is telling me that creating distance from your family is actually an act of you claiming your sovereignty. You are taking your power back. You are establishing yourself as the authority in your own life. What I am picking up with the Emperor is that your family dynamics may have involved control, enmeshment, or attempts to dictate your life choices. Maybe there were authoritarian parents who expected obedience rather than fostering independence. Maybe there were family members who tried to make decisions for you or guilted you when you made choices they did not approve of. The Emperor is telling me that you are done with that. You are establishing your own rules, your own structures, your own way of doing things. You are becoming the emperor of your own empire. This card is also about building something lasting and stable. The Emperor represents long-term thinking, strategic planning, and creating structures that will support you for years to come. 2. As you separate from unhealthy family patterns, you are going to be very intentional about building a life that reflects your values and serves your well-being. You are not just reacting anymore, you are creating. You are being proactive about designing the life you want to live. I am also sensing with the Emperor that you are developing healthy masculine energy, regardless of your gender. This is about assertiveness, boundaries, protection, and the ability to stand firm in your decisions. The Emperor knows what he wants, and he is not swayed by guilt or manipulation. He makes decisions based on logic and what serves the greater good of his kingdom. And in your case, your kingdom is your own life, your own well-being, your own future. The Emperor is encouraging you to protect your kingdom fiercely and not let anyone breach your walls who has not earned the right to be there. The Emperor is also associated with father energy, and I am picking up that part of what is happening here is you learning to father yourself. If you had a father who was absent, controlling, critical, or otherwise unable to provide healthy support, you are now stepping into the role of being your own good father. You are learning to provide for yourself, to set healthy limits for yourself, to encourage yourself, to believe in yourself. You are becoming the stable, supportive presence in your own life that maybe you did not have growing up. This card is also telling me that other people are going to respect you more as you step into this Emperor energy. When you are clear about your boundaries, when you are confident in your decisions, when you stop seeking approval and start living according to your own values, people take notice. You command respect not by demanding it, but by simply knowing your worth and acting accordingly. The Emperor does not need to convince anyone of his authority, he simply embodies it, and that is the energy you are growing into. So Virgo, let me bring all of this together for you. The universe is not removing you from your family as punishment. The universe is making space for you to become who you are truly meant to be. Your family dynamics, as difficult as they have been, were part of your curriculum in this lifetime. They taught you important lessons, even if those lessons were painful, but you have learned what you needed to learn. You have grown beyond that container, and now it is time to graduate. What I am seeing in these cards is a story of awakening, of seeing the truth of your situation, of having the courage to walk away from what no longer serves you, and of stepping into a life that is authentically yours. This is not about hating your family or cutting everyone off forever necessarily. This is about you recognizing that in order to be healthy and whole and fully yourself, you need to create distance from dynamics that keep you small, that drain your energy, that make you question your worth. The cards are showing me that as you create this distance, your entire world is going to open up. You are going to experience success and recognition. You are going to form genuine, reciprocal relationships. You are going to build a life that actually reflects your values and serves your well-being. You are going to feel more alive, more energized, more free than you have in years. And you are going to step into your full power as the authority in your own life. I know this might be scary. I know you might be feeling guilty or worried about what people will think, but I need you to trust what your soul is telling you. If you feel called to create distance from your family, if you feel exhausted by trying to maintain relationships that consistently leave you feeling bad about yourself, if you feel like you cannot fully be yourself around your family, those feelings are valid. Those feelings are your guidance system telling you what you need. The universe is supporting you in this transition. The universe is literally conspiring to help you break free from patterns that have been holding you back. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust that you deserve to be in relationships where you are valued, respected, and loved for exactly who you are. Trust that it is not selfish to prioritize your own well-being. Trust that you can love your family from a distance while still honoring your own needs. You are not abandoning anyone. You are not being cruel. You are simply choosing yourself, maybe for the first time in your life. And that choice is going to change everything. That choice is going to open doors you did not even know existed. That choice is going to lead you to your people, your purpose, your power. So take the steps you need to take. Set the boundaries you need to set. Create the distance you need to create. And watch how your life transforms when you finally give yourself permission to put yourself first. The universe has your back, Virgo. Your ancestors who understand what you are going through have your back. Your future self, who is so proud of you for making this brave choice, has your back. This is your time. This is your liberation. This is your becoming. And I am so excited to see who you become when you finally free yourself from the weight of family dynamics that were never meant to define you. You are so much more than the role you have played in your family. You are brilliant, capable, worthy, and deserving of a life that actually feels good to live. Go create that life. The universe is cheering you on every step of the way.